Hello, everybody. This is AngryJoe here,
With Cyclops.
and we're reviewing Antman.
Doing a little summer review here for you loyal fans to hold you over till we get back to some regularly published reviews.
Yeah. Now, if you're wondering why we're doing this a week late, movie came out last week,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Cyclops and I weren't able to hang out for the whole summer, and then we decided to hang out this particular weekend.
Yes.
So we figured, hey, we'll go see Antman, do a review.
Mm-hmm.
So it says spoilers in the title. We're gonna treat this like the Avengers review. We're gonna quickly tell you guys our thoughts, basic thoughts.
Spoiler free,
Yeah.
completely vague.
And our recommendation for the movie, and then we'll get into spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cyclops, go ahead.
First of all, I'd probably give it like a B plus, A minus. I really enjoyed it. I
A
thought,
minus. That's
yeah, it's
okay.
good enough there. I mean, it definitely does exactly what, like, once you get in there, you get a feeling of exactly what the movie is going for, and it succeeds perfectly in that. And like what the movie was going for, kind of like because it's supposed to be kind of like a comedy, and it's not as you know,
Stars Paul Rudd.
yeah, and it's not as like the stakes aren't supposed to be as high as some of the other Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like even with you can compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're trying to defend an entire planet and stop this.
I was thinking this is the exact opposite of Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it very much is. Where
Just in terms
Age of Ultron,
stakes.
even though Age of Ultron did have a lot of humor in it,
Yeah.
it did get a little bit darker than we'd seen in any previous Marvel movies. This is the opposite. It's the lightest Marvel movie I think we've seen.
Yeah.
Could you say that? It's definitely comparable with Guardians of the Galaxy at least.
Yeah. I would probably still say
think
Guardians.
Really, you think so? Either way, it's
I only say
obviously the fact that we're comparing it means that it's
I
very.
only say Guardians because of Rocket and Groot.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know which one I thought was funnier, but I thought they were both pretty funny.
I was gonna say Thor, but
No.
no, just because of all when he goes to Earth. All
Yeah,
the
but
humor
that's
with that.
not.
Yeah. Thor: The
That's
Dark
not the
World
basis of Thor.
Was pretty funny.
Thor: The
I
Dark
thought,
World was hilarious
in an ironic
no.
fashion.
Such a hipster, wow. No, yeah, that's if you're don't go into the movie expecting Age of Ultron or the Avengers. Go into the movie expecting another Guardians of the Galaxy, but with a tighter cast, smaller plot. It's not some big expansive action, spanning the globe or anything like that. It's a small movie.
It ain't Transformers, kids.
I'm promise I'm not making a joke about the title of the movie. It is actually a smaller movie. That's not a pun or anything.
Yeah.
It just is. And that's not a bad thing. But I'm saying because of that, it's never really going to hit the level that you might get from Age of Ultron or something like that, or it's not going to hit the level of some of these other really cool blockbusters you see, and that's okay. It's not what it's going for.
Yeah.
It's just introducing Ant-Man to somebody who is somebody that the public basically knows nothing about.
Yeah.
And it did that very successfully.
Yeah. Recommendation?
Yeah, definitely. I would say.
In 3D?
We did not see it in 3D.
Yeah.
We have no comment.
I specifically said, no, we're not seeing this in 3D. We had 2 showtimes to choose from. I was like, no.
Yeah. It's.
I'll wake up earlier
Although
2D.
I feel like this might be cool in 3D. Like some of the action sequences.
It depends on if they actually shot it in 3D.
Yeah.
Like if it's the post conversion that they do for most 3D movies these days, it's probably terrible.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I don't know. It is what it is. I enjoyed it. See it somehow.
Okay, for me, this is the exact opposite of how I felt while watching Terminator Genesis.
God dang it.
A-Rod
is very hung up on Terminator Genesis.
Frustrates me so much, and if you go and listen to my review, quick plug there, I was just frustrated the whole time, and you can clearly tell I'm frustrated because I'm just trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong. And watching this, I was just like, it wasn't that I had to not think, or I could just let it go and not have to think about anything. I was just like, my mind's at ease because I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that I'm enjoying a summer blockbuster? Isn't it weird?
That's kind of how I felt about Jurassic World. To go ahead and say that we haven't done any videos on that or anything, but that's the same. I mean, this movie has a bit of a tighter plot, and it's a better movie than Jurassic World. But I really enjoyed Jurassic World because of the same reason. Where to me it felt like it was having fun, and I'm glad with that. Yeah, that's what's your letter grade for this?
I'm stuck between B and B plus. I don't think it's you clearly like the movie more than I do. I think it's a little too straightforward. Maybe. Like, it doesn't subvert enough audience expectations. It's pretty safe.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than like the great visuals of he is shrinking, and that's awesome, and like him seeing the world as a tiny
great
person.
Action sequences.
Like that,
very cool.
That's really awesome, and like the action sequences, they're very inventive. But the story itself's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's a basic movie. It's not the story is fine. It's fairly airtight. I mean, there's little things here and there, but for the most part, you're not going to have many problems with the plot. Yeah. But it's
I think this movie, like for me, when I'm lining up all the MCU movies, it goes right in the middle.
Really? I put it a little higher up. I haven't come up with a ranking for the Marvel movie in a while, and I don't feel like doing it now.
Well, I mean, the two of us really like Iron Man 2, so
well. I still would put Iron Man 2 lower on the spectrum.
Oh, yeah. It's better than Iron Man 2.
yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good movie. And I think the main reason I'm so... It basically fulfilled exactly what I expected it to do. I expected it to be funny. I expected it to introduce Antman in a fashion that will make the public care.
Yeah.
And I expected it to have some cool action sequences, and that's exactly what I got.
Yeah, I know it's a week late, but yeah, totally go see it.
Yeah, if you haven't already, if you're still on the fence,
you're a big fan of the MCU. There's plenty of Easter eggs, little goodies for you to see, little plot points and stuff for you to find. I mean, there's nothing about this movie that's really bad. Yeah, it's a strong movie. I mean, there might be some weaker elements, but
like the plot generally is okay. The acting is good. Writing is good. Lots of funny writing and stuff like that.
I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
As opposed to Terminator Genesis, where I just wanted to gouge my eyes out the whole time.
All right, so I think we've got that set. We should probably move into spoiler territory now. Basically,
spoilers. John Connor is the bad Terminator. Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers for Antman now. If don't watch any further if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
I don't feel like spoilers would really affect this movie that much.
They won't, but we'll do it anyway just to make sure we don't. Because we will.
But I'm just saying, like,
it's not going to be a huge deal. But either way, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
It's like spoiling Jurassic World. It's like there's not really a whole.
I disagree with that with Jurassic World because there were some points in Jurassic World that
in terms of some of the action sequences, maybe, but like just overall the plot, I don't think there's.
Well, I'm thinking specifically towards the end of Jurassic World, there was some stuff that I didn't actually see coming, and I was like, oh, cool. That's actually a main reason why I like Jurassic World is some of the points at the end. But this is not a Jurassic World review, so I'm not going to spoil that here.
Probably should have done a Jurassic World review.
Well, we didn't have time.
Probably should have done that.
We could get back to that. We could talk about that later.
Settle for the bronze.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's a contender.
Yeah, where do you want to start with spoilers?
With Antman, first of all, what did you think of Darren Cross overall?
Oh, the bad guy. I feel like the acting or the actor was putting in a lot more work than the writers
you said that earlier,
for him. Yeah,
and I agree with that. I think he was decently
He's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not constantly going, I hate this guy like I did with Malekith and Thor the Dark World. No. Or even like someone like Ronan, who I could see the potential, but they didn't really do anything with him.
I don't know if I like him more or less than Ronan.
Even the bad guys in Iron Man 3, are we doing spoilers? Yeah, we're doing spoilers. Aldrich Killian ends up being the Mandarin at the end. It's like, well, I didn't really like that bad guy that much. That's
I'll be
not
honest.
The reason I like that movie.
I think I'm gonna like. I think I'm going forward. I'm going to end up this villain is going to end up going higher on my list of MCU villains, and I think that's mostly because he had a really cool suit. Like, I mean, he
great
was
visuals.
He was a fine actor. I think I liked that.
He's great.
He felt a little more.
I'm forgetting his name, but he's in House of Cards. Yeah,
I have not seen
the first season of House of Cards. I've only watched a little bit into the second season. So
I like that. He felt a little more human than a lot of other villains we've gotten in the MCU.
Yeah, but I would say that's because of the acting. He humanizes the guy a lot.
Yeah,
in ways that I don't think the script
little
really
things like
allows
the way his eyes, like he does some really good acting with just his facial expression and stuff like that.
And they come up with a good way to just make him go crazy without just saying.
Yeah, they talk about.
He put on a suit. He's crazy now.
It's a comic book based reason too, because that's the whole. The reason he starts going crazy is because he's using this technology.
The overuse of Pym particles makes him crazy.
I think what Hank Pym said early in this movie was that if he's not like protecting himself while he's doing these experiments or something like that, something along those lines, and that's what the helmet does, the Antman suit does.
Okay.
Something along those lines. Basically, the Pym particles are making him unstable because he's working with them so closely.
No, but that was great because that could set up, if you wanted to do any sequels, Hank Pym physically abusing his wife or him going crazy.
And that's what I was saying is that's exactly what happens in the comics. Is that's why Hank Pym starts to go with all these different identities and become unstable.
I'm just saying that's a great way of setting up future plot points instead of Terminator Genesis not addressing anything.
Punch you. No,
this is secretly another review for Terminator Genesis, I swear.
God dang.
Yeah, the acting really shined through more than the character.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of weird to say.
And speaking of which, jumping on, so I think we're in agreement that it's a pretty good villain. I do think
solid.
Yeah, I do think the suit is pretty cool. That's that. The fact that he's a good actor, he's humanized villain.
They don't put him in like ridiculous amounts of makeup or give him zero screen time like Malekith. Malekith barely gets any screen time.
Malekith is definitely the weakest villain, I'd say, in the MCU.
Yeah, but they actually give him time.
But he's not just right above Malekith. I'd say he's up there a little.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and take a look at all that. I'd say he's probably above Red Skull.
See, it reminds me a lot of trying to rank all the MCU movies because they're like all so close together and how I would rate them.
Yeah, I think he's definitely not the best, but not the worst villain that we've seen in the MCU so far.
And he's better than what I've seen of Thanos so far.
Yeah, well,
I've been very underwhelmed by what I've seen of Thanos.
We've barely seen any of Thanos. I'm not going to judge Thanos at all until we actually get there.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Oh, okay. Good to know, buddy.
Yeah. That was a complete. A little aside here. That was a completely unnecessary mid-credit scene. I think we talked about that in the Age. They just shouldn't have had an end credits or mid credits for Age of Ultron. That would have been. They had the cool little.
They should have said that right as the credits started. There is no mid-credit scene or
get out.
Yeah.
Go. Be free.
Or even like have the theater people tell people that when they go to the concessions or get their tickets, go, just a heads up, there's no scene during the credits.
That probably would have been hard to work out the logistics of, to make sure that everyone. I do think they should have just not had one and then said that when they when Kevin Feige released his statement saying, or whoever it was that said there was only one credit scene. Basically, it was unnecessary. Different movie though.
Let's get back to Antman.
What I was gonna say was, in general, I think the acting was really, really good in this.
I love how it's dual protagonists. It's both Hank Pym and Scott Lang. They're both protagonists.
Yeah, and
it's not just Scott Lang's movie. It's
even
both.
though Hope Van Dyne, who's Hank Pym's daughter,
Kate from Lost,
even though she's not necessarily the protagonist, she also shines really, like, she's also important.
I've been waiting for her return since those Hobbit movies that I don't like.
Yeah, and this is the best thing I've seen her in so far. I've seen all of Lost, I've seen all the Hobbit movies.
She's not bad in the Hobbit movies. She's not my problem with those movies.
Yeah, no. And in Lost she's fine too, but this, I couldn't remember, maybe it's just because I haven't seen Lost in a while, but it seemed like she was doing better in this than she was in either of those two.
She grew on me in the movie.
Yeah.
Took a little while, because at the beginning she starts off as kind of a stereotype, but then she kind of grew.
But I like how basically we're centering on those four characters. The villain, Hank Pym, Scott Lang, and Hope Van Dyne, and they're all fleshed out. They all feel real. The story's
very focused.
Yeah. It's a tight story. It's not. It is a heist movie, and it just does that. It sticks with it. I also like how they didn't. I thought when I looked at the trailers and stuff like that, I thought that the heist was going to happen like in the first or second act, and then the third act was going to be this big thing, which is kind of what they did, but not really. It was like there is the heist was the focus of the movie. And then that happened in the middle of the third act, and then the end of it was the final confrontation between Scott Lang and Darren Cross, and that was it. And I was like, this is fine. Like I thought this was going to be like, oh, they're going to try and have the heist thing happen, and then like other stuff's going to happen, and it's going to be this long convoluted thing. No, it was nice. It was nice to have a movie that had one focus, one main plot, overarching plot, and they went with it. Yeah. And they didn't try and bloat it in. They didn't try and make it go on too long or anything like that, which is nice.
Okay, now I got a few questions for you.
Okay.
Are Scott Lang's buddies really offensive stereotypes?
They are, but
like Michael Pena is kind of the annoying Hispanic role, I guess.
They definitely are,
because they're constantly making a joke that he's talking about stuff that doesn't matter. He just keeps blurting stuff out, like or like the black guy. They have him.
The black guy felt.
He keeps stealing stuff.
There were parts where I was like, oh. This is going.
They clearly have that scene where he's taking off the license plate and he's looking around like, is anybody going to see me? And then he runs off. It's like,
that he was the one that I noticed most. Yeah. Like that I most was like,
and then
they're going a little far.
They have like the Eastern European Russian guy who's from The Dark Knight, but
yeah,
he was a bit of a stereotype too. They were funny, but it was
weird.
Well,
and that's the thing. It definitely. I think they definitely are, but. I think the fact that they did it in a really funny way and like it wasn't completely offensive or anything. Like it was just like
it was right
they
on
were
the
obvious
line.
playing.
Right on the line.
Yeah. And I think because of that, this movie's not going to come under too much fire for that or anything like that.
I don't know. Has it?
I don't think so.
We're reviewing the movie late, so whatever.
I haven't seen anything about it, so.
Yeah, because I'm comparing this to like a Michael Bay Transformers.
That was the first thing I was thinking of.
It was like, well, they have offensive stereotypes in that, but those go way too far.
Yeah. It was weird. I don't know why they did it like that. I don't know why they. I don't know. I don't know if that was the actors playing them choice to play it up a little bit. I don't know what the deal with that was. I do agree it was a little far.
Yeah, maybe for Michael Pena that was like his version of I'm in a comic book movie, I'm playing it up.
Maybe.
Versus something like...
And this is not the first time we'd see an actor doing something like that.
No, versus like something like Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
In Gotham.
Which we haven't really... is a show we haven't really talked about, but we are not big fans of.
Oh God, there's a season 2. Why?
There was a season 2.
No, but her acting in that is just totally like, I'm in a comic book movie, I'm going to ham it up.
Yeah.
But she doesn't seem like a stereotype. It's just...
Yeah.
Weird for me to try and figure out in my head. Like,
I mean, I kind of just accepted it while I was watching, but I agree it was a little strange. I don't know why they did it like that. I don't know.
Maybe it's just, we're in a comedy. We need stereotypes.
Yeah.
Because stereotypes are funny.
Which, to be fair, the public usually thinks they are funny. So, I mean, I guess that's
we
fair.
thought it was funny, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird point of the movie for me. What else?
Okay. So, at the end of the movie... when Darren Cross is having to deal with all those guys, and he's like, I'm going to sell you the Yellow Jacket technology.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, they're part of Hydra.
Yeah.
That... was it just supposed to be like, oh, hey guys, we're mentioning Hydra in this movie because Hydra's a big thing?
See,
I think... Or are they trying to say something more with that?
I think it's... I don't have too much of a problem with it.
We're kind of jumping all over the place here. I apologize.
These are just little points that probably should be addressed about it.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I liked that for the most part. It was a little ham-fisted, but it was subtle in the fact that it only happened once. Like they name dropped Hydra and that's it. They didn't, and they fought some Hydra guys. Like they didn't like make it like a big.
Oh, and one of the guys in the room had a 10 rings tattoo on the back of his neck. If you didn't notice, I noticed. I got you covered.
They got to be building up towards something with that. I feel like the manor is going to... I mean, I know they did like the one shot with Ben Kingsley or whatever. But something's got to happen with that eventually.
But there's not an Iron Man 4
which is weird to me. Unless he's like the secret villain of Civil War or something like that.
Like, that would be great if, like, after Infinity War, Robert Downey Jr. goes for one more movie. Yeah. Iron Man 4 with the real Mandarin, and then we're done with him.
Maybe. I'm curious to see how they'll handle that. Anyway, they name drop Hydra once, and so that it's not like it's like a major plot point or anything. They're not trying to shoehorn anything in. They're just like, oh, it's Hydra. And the reason I think they did that is because, and I talked to you about this a little bit before, I think it's because what they were trying to do was basically just show that that Darren Cross was not doing this for, getting this technology out there for the world to see and like to enlighten the world. It was just to make it very obvious that this guy was about money, and he would sell it.
Anyone.
Yeah, he would sell it to anybody who was paying enough.
Yeah. I know. It's just. I wasn't sure what the intention of that was. I wasn't sure if it was like, oh, it could fall into the hands of Hydra. The stakes are raised even higher.
No, I don't think that was the point, because immediately it's literally just that scene where that is a fear. Because right after that, they get away.
It just seemed like too big of a reveal, or just like a thing to put in there. It seemed a little too big for it to just be throwaway.
And part of that too, I know you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's kind of informed.
I'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix, so whatever.
That's kind of informed too
by Daredevil again.
By what happens in there. Just general. I mean, I'm not going to give any spoilers for anything, but like they show some of the inner workings of Hydra and stuff like that, and how they're still moving around. So and rebuilding sort of thing, or continuing to build. So like I don't know. I guess with their position in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe as they've done so far, I don't really have a problem with it. I think it makes more or less sense. I mean, that they'd be there. Mostly just because there's no one else they could really sell. He could really sell it to that would mean anything to the audience. You also have to consider that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else he could really do. Because like they set up this sketchy dude who's been there the whole time, but he just showed up in the beginning and we don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really mean a whole lot to the audience. So yeah, I think the main thing is just that they wanted to show, hey, this dude will sell to anybody. You know Hydra. He would sell to Hydra.
Okay.
I think that's what they were going for.
What do you think of the opening where they're at the S.H.I.E.L.D. base?
I thought it was really cool.
From Winter Soldier.
Yeah. It just seemed cool.
Okay. What is with them and who they cast for Howard Stark? Because they brought back the guy from Mad Men who's in Iron Man 2. They brought him back, and he looks nothing like Dominic Cooper, who plays him in First Avenger and the Agent Carter show. They look nothing alike.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is it just like... we're going to try to keep continuity, kind of.
Basically, I think it's just kind of like, yeah, they're the same person. Just accept
it. the CGI work they did to make Michael Douglas look younger is amazing.
And
light years ahead of in X-Men 3 when they de-age Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah.
It is light years ahead of that.
Definitely, it looked... And I don't know a whole lot about Michael Douglas, so I was really confused at first, because I was like, how did they do that?
There were only a couple of wide shots where he was like walking away, or I was like, that looks slightly like plasticky, but it still looks good enough. I'm not going to question it.
How old is Michael Douglas normally?
I don't know. He's probably like in his 60s.
Okay,
or 70s.
See, that's the thing. I didn't know anything about him, so like when he first showed up, I literally couldn't tell the difference. Like if you had told me, yeah, Michael Douglas, that's how old he is, and they put makeup on him to make him look old, I would not have known the difference. Yeah. I would have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because that's how good it looked.
And then once again, Peggy Carter aging her up still looks amazing.
Yeah. And it wasn't quite as old as, obviously, it was. The intro takes place in 1989, so it wasn't quite that old. But yeah, they aged her up and she looked great. They've got some good effects going in there.
Haley Atwell just looks great whenever.
This is true.
Even as an old lady, she
is a pretty woman.
I don't know, what else? I guess we really haven't talked about Paul Rudd.
Well, he's good. I think that's why we haven't talked about it. He does exactly what you'd expect him to do in this movie. He sells it. He brings
more stuff with him. I'm excited that he's in Civil War.
Yeah.
And like that's
speaking of which, the
after credits scene.
The after credits scene show Hope is getting her own Wasp suit, and B, they're going to recruit Scott Lang for Civil War. Something to do with Civil War. Something that's going to happen in Civil War. We don't. Yeah. I don't think did they mention exactly what was happening in that scene, or was it just like, we have something we need to do, we're going to get Ant-Man to do it?
That's about the gist of it. But I've heard that scene is actually in Civil War. It's not like a scene that they shot separate from the movie. Apparently that scene is actually in the movie.
That's not only is that cool, but I kind of hope they start doing that. I would actually prefer that as so that they just have like this little mini trailer before,
or like they do with what they did at the end of Iron Man 2 for the Thor after credit scene, where it shows Agent Coulson showing up and he sees the hammer and he calls Nick Fury and he's like, "Hey, we found it." Show it from different camera angles. Like, show a different version of it. Oh. You know?
Yeah.
It's cut differently. Or, like, do something like that. Don't show these scenes that are completely separated that won't end up related.
That also makes sense that is from Civil War, because it's when it first started, I was kind of confused as to what was happening, because they started, like, in the middle of some dialogue or something. Like, they're not in the middle, but, like, the way it seemed like something had just happened, and so I was like, what's going on here? That makes sense, and that's kind of cool. Because it's kind of like a little hint at what's coming, while also it's also showing you how this movie will relate to later movies. Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Did you think it was a little forced that Falcon showed up in the movie?
No, I thought it was cool. I actually really liked that whole thing because, I mean, it's Falcon, so it's not like it's they're throwing in the main Avengers to bolster the movie or whatever.
Conveniently, all the Avengers are out of the Avengers HQ.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's fine with me because it's just kind of like, oh, they're all out doing stuff, Avengers stuff, and the Falcon's the only one left because he doesn't have a whole lot to do, and so he's just like
great if there was a throwaway line like they're in Wakanda right now.
A reference to whatever's going on in Civil War maybe or something like that. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I don't know. I didn't have to. It was convenient, but I didn't have too much problem with it.
Will they ever end up finding Hank Pym's wife? Is that like a?
I don't know. I'm curious about that.
I wonder if they've set that up as like a big mystery.
I kind of feel like they have, just because.
Well, I mean, they set up the whole thing of you can shrink down that small and you can come back.
Yeah, and like the fact that nothing was resolved with that.
So that almost seems like he'd be running tests.
Yeah,
on himself,
maybe he's like
find her.
Maybe we'll see, when we next see him again, he'll be trying to find her again. Like he'll have a renewed interest in trying to figure out where she, like, how to get her back and everything. Yeah. I feel like that's probably gonna. I feel like there are a lot of little plot lines that are probably going to come back.
They're setting up interesting plot points,
but it's not
without making it half a movie. Terminator Genesis.
See, you say that, but that's a problem you see in movies all the time now. Like movies that are blatantly made to set up for sequels, and this was a movie that stands perfectly on its own.
Yeah, but Terminator Genesis made me unhappy. I was unhappy watching it, so I'm going to talk shit about it.
But like, and the final, I mean, I know like the very final scene of Antman was set up for Civil War.
Yeah.
But it was done in a funny way, and it was like it didn't feel out of place. It made sense within the movie.
Plus, that's different. We definitely know there are more movies coming.
Yes, that's also true.
Something like Terminator or like The Last Airbender or Green Lantern.
Uh-huh.
It's like, we're gonna have a trilogy. Oh crap! This one didn't make that much money. Maybe we should rethink this whole trilogy plan.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, just by default that this has to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're able to get away with more of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But they still do it a million times better than Terminator Genesis ever could.
Yeah.
And it could have done it a lot better, though.
I liked it. Overall, I think that this movie was a success. I think it's another in the long line of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that are good.
It sucked. Oh wait, we're talking about Antman now? Oh, I was still on Terminator.
Yeah, it's Antman is a good movie. You should go watch it.
Daenerys Targaryen wasn't in this movie, right?
No.
Are we sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I probably need to go watch it again to check to make sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing I want to mention. Yeah.
Yep. Does it have to do with Terminator Genesis?
No, it does not.
Good.
Well, I could make it relate if I wanted to. I won't. I'll stay with it. The action scenes. I freaking loved the action scenes.
The action was really cool. They did a really cool...
I wasn't bored. My eyes didn't glaze over. I wasn't just waiting for them to end.
And it didn't look terrible or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, it looks stylized, obviously. Like, it was a little cleaner than... But they were literally recreating or creating an entire world that they literally could not be doing any other way, really. Yeah. Instead of... Unless they wanted to make, like, huge set pieces. There's no way they could have done that.
Yeah.
And they did this. It was stylized, but it was still a really cool way to do it. I don't know. Like I can't.
It was stylized, but there was a logic to it.
Yeah. And just in general, it looked really nice. It looked really cool. There was lots of cool stuff that happened while he was at the small level, the ant level, and everything. Yeah, it was the action sequences are probably the strongest point of the movie.
But yeah, in a world where so many action movies now, I've become cynical about this. So many times my eyes just glaze over. I'm just like, things are happening. They're blowing up stuff. It's just good to see something inventive, and I care. I want to care.
Yeah, exactly.
Terminator Genesis, I don't care. Although, based on my anger and frustration, I actually do care.
You do. You very much do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching our second review of Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, I hope you never see that movie. I'll put it to you this way. I'd probably rather watch Terminator 3.
Okay.
Never mind. Whatever. Don't watch Thor: The Dark World. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to try and take as many references from other videos that we've done as I possibly can.
Let's just pull out the old list.
Stay away from Batman Returns as well.
Yeah. I think that's just about all we've got. We really enjoyed the movie. You should go see it if you, for some reason, watched through all of the spoiler territory stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you haven't seen it already. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, this movie does get me excited for sequels and seeing Ant-Man show up in other movies.
I'm
Marvel continues to hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
DC, we're all looking at you now. You got some awesome trailers, but
but they've got some awesome trailers 7 months before the movie has come out, which I'm not excited for.
To be fair, Man of Steel's trailers were pretty awesome.
But I'm saying I'm not saying the trailers are bad. I'm saying I'm afraid we're going to see way too much of the movie.
I guess the next big superhero, well, not including Fantastic Four, but the next big one is Batman vs Superman, right?
Yeah, I think so. We're on the road.
That's gonna happen.
Yep, that's actually a thing. It's gonna be something, in some way.
I should rewatch this video and try and figure out the percentage of time we actually spend talking about Ant-Man. All right, everybody, thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy Ant-Man as much as, if not more so, than us. Mm-hmm. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. This is AngryJoe here
with Tyclops,
and we're reviewing Ant-Man.
Doing a little summer review here for you loyal fans to hold you over till we get back to some regularly published reviews.
Yeah. Now, if you're wondering why we're doing this a week late, the movie came out last week, right? Okay. Tyclops and I weren't able to hang out for the whole summer, and then we decided to hang out this particular weekend.
Yes.
So we figured, hey, we'll go see Ant-Man, do a review.
Mm-hmm.
So it says spoilers in the title. We're going to treat this like the Avengers review. We're going to quickly tell you guys our thoughts, basic thoughts.
Spoiler-free, completely vague.
And our recommendation for the movie, and then we'll get into spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tyclops, go ahead.
First of all, I'd probably give it a B+, A-. I really enjoyed it.
I thought that's...
Yeah, it's good enough there. I mean, it definitely does exactly what... once you get in there, you get a feeling of exactly what the movie is going for, and it succeeds perfectly in that. And what the movie was going for, kind of, because it's supposed to be kind of like a comedy, and it's not as
Stars Paul Rudd.
Yeah. And it's not as, the stakes aren't supposed to be as high as some of the other Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even with, you can compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're trying to defend an entire planet and stop this
I was thinking this is the exact opposite of Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it very much is. Where
just in terms
Age of Ultron,
stakes.
even though Age of Ultron did have a lot of humor in it, it did get a little bit darker than we'd seen in any previous Marvel movies. This is the opposite. It's the lightest Marvel movie I think we've seen.
Yeah.
Could you say that? It's definitely comparable with Guardians of the Galaxy, at least.
Ain't Transformers, kids.
I'm promise I'm not making a joke about the title of the movie. It is actually a smaller movie. That's not a pun or anything.
Yeah.
It just is. And that's not a bad thing. But I'm saying because of that, it's never really going to hit the level that you might get from Age of Ultron or something like that. Or it's not going to hit the level of some of these other really cool blockbusters you see. And that's okay. It's not what it's going for.
Yeah.
It's just introducing Ant-Man to somebody who is somebody that the public basically knows nothing about.
Yeah.
And it did that very successfully.
Yeah. Recommendation?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely,
okay.
I would say.
In 3D?
We did not see it in 3D.
Yeah.
We have no comment.
I specifically said, no, we're not seeing this in 3D. We had 2 showtimes to choose from. I was like, no.
Yeah.
I'll wake up earlier
although,
for 2D.
I feel like this might be cool in 3D. Some of the action sequences.
It depends on if they actually shot it in. Yeah. I would probably still say Guardians.
Really, you think so? Either way, it's obviously the fact that we're comparing it means that it's very.
I only say Guardians because of Rocket and Groot.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know which one I thought was funnier, but I thought they were both pretty funny.
I was gonna say Thor, but
no,
just because of all when he goes to Earth.
But that's not.
Thor: The
That's
Dark
not the
World
basis of Thor.
Was pretty funny.
Thor: The Dark World was hilarious
in an ironic fashion.
Such a hipster, wow. No, that's if you're don't go into the movie expecting Age of Ultron or the Avengers. Go into the movie expecting another Guardians of the Galaxy, but with a tighter cast, smaller plot, It's not some big expansive action, spanning the globe or anything like that. It's a small movie
in 3D. Yeah. Like if it's the post conversion that they do for most 3D movies these days, it's probably terrible. I don't know. I just it is what it is. I enjoyed it. Somehow. Okay, for me, this is the exact opposite of how I felt while watching Terminator Genesis.
God dang it! A-Rod is very hung up on Terminator Genesis.
That frustrates me so much. And if you go and listen to my review, quick plug there, I was just frustrated the whole time, and you can clearly tell I'm frustrated because I'm just trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong. And watching this, I was just like, it wasn't that I had to not think, or I could just let it go and not have to think about anything. I was just like, my mind's at ease because I'm just